Here we are today at the wonderful Chicago Sun-Times studio with two MMA fighters here for UFC 225 this Saturday. Main event starts at 9 o'clock. The actual fighting begins at 5:15, somewhere around there. I'm joined by two great guys from Chicago area, two veteran fighters, one more veteran than the other, Clay Guida. How are you doing, Clay? Great to see you. Curtis Blaydes. How are you, bud? So let's just start right from the beginning. You've been fighting for a long time with UFC, and what is different about this one? And as you become a veteran and not just a guy who's starting out years ago, your first bout was in 2004?
Yeah, my first amateur fight was in 2004, and I'll be in the UFC 12 years come this October. And yeah, the sport's changed quite a bit.
You, just like Curtis, your discipline started out as wrestling. You started wrestling as a little kid, probably in the living room, right?
Yeah.
You have brothers?
Yeah, three sports. I wouldn't say a star by any means, but yeah, just a little rugrat. Started wrestling at the age of 6 years old. I'm 36 now, and wrestling has brought both of us here, to this high level in competition. And yeah, that's why we're here, man. Definitely the sport of wrestling.
It took a long time before the community and, let's say, the nation in general accepted this as a sport, not just a blood sport, just not human cockfighting, if you will. People fought in Vegas, but it was a long time before they were allowed to even fight in Chicago, where both you guys are from. What changed? What happened with the sport to make it more acceptable now? I think it's much bigger than boxing now, right?
Oh, hands down, it's much bigger than boxing. It's much safer than boxing. It's one of the safest professional contact sports or combat sports. I believe it's safer than, there's less concussions than football, than soccer, than hockey, than boxing, because there's other ways to win. You're not just getting pounded in the head over and over. Mm-hmm. You can win on the ground. You can win by decision. You know what I mean? You can knock a guy out or choke him out. So there's various ways, for it to be safe. And the sanctioning bodies of Illinois, of Chicago, of Nevada, of all these states, of California, their number one concern is our safety. So with that being said, they make sure that everyone is, the referees are trained, the judges are trained, the doctors, the paramedics are on staff, they're right there. And
but the referees in mixed martial arts have to be right on top of it. Because in boxing, you knock a guy out, obviously you have to go to a neutral corner. In MMA, you jump on top of them to make sure it's over, and that's where real damage can occur to a person if they're unconscious and the referee does not come flying in. I mean, sliding in like a guy sliding into second base. I mean, you're aware of that, right? But you'll keep fighting until the ref comes?
I will.
Keep slugging?
Yeah, I will. I watched, it was a lower level promotion, but a guy, he dropped the guy and then he kind of walked away, like very respectful, and then the guy popped up and the ref let it continue when he could have easily just ended it right there.
Yeah.
I don't want that happening.
So how do you know, I mean, do you have a sense when you've got somebody down or out that, okay, one more twist in that arm bar and that arm's going to snap in half? Or if I choke him a little more, I mean, when do you know that somebody's truly in danger, or when the ref should have control of this and it's out of your hands?
I mean, if he gets to a point where I'm looking at the referee, that means it's gone too far. Like if I'm able to hit you as I'm looking at the referee, that means you should have already stepped in.
Yeah, the referee should take it upon himself to get in and save the guy, stop the fight, be smart about it.
Normally doesn't get that far.
So when you're teaching your kids wrestling, how do you stop yourself from teaching them how to strangle guys or how to get them in chokeholds? Or
you teach them wrestling. You teach them.
Don't they want to know though? Isn't it like, hey, coach, show us the stuff?
We tell them that's for a different practice. We tell them wrestlers make the best fighters. So if you want to,
is that true? Do you believe that too?
I'm biased. I think so. I think the training styles they're both grueling, and the transition, especially from a collegiate level, is a smoother transition than it would be for a boxer or one of the other disciplines.
Well, the fascinating thing, and I have to tell you about the whole sport, is that it's so complex. It's not about just going out there and beating the crap out of somebody. All the different disciplines, from boxing to kickboxing to judo, jiu-jitsu, karate, Brazilian, whatever it's called. I mean, all these different things, not to mention just plain old American style freeform wrestling or freestyle wrestling. And so to me, I would think, even though it looks brutal and bloody beyond belief, that the mental part of it is just beyond
Yeah.
Beyond belief.
Yeah, most sports are 99% mental, and this one is even more so. You have to be good at every aspect of the sport if you want to excel and have a chance, and I, very similar to Curtis, that you have to have some sort of a wrestling background, and if you're not a takedown guy, you have to be able to stop a takedown to keep it striking or get on top and work your submissions or whatever it may be.
How long can you keep doing it? How long do you want to do it?
I've got, there's not an exact timetable, but I've got maybe 8 to 9 years. I don't want to be like the Mark Hunts or the Verdums. I don't want to be 40 getting hit in the head by guys half my age. It's just.
Are you worried about any part of it?
It's a known risk. I'm taking a risk to secure my financial security and maybe my kids and their kids. It's worth it. Whatever risk I am taking, I think it's worth it.